Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 19th. I knew it. I felt that burp coming on the 19th of October, 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight on NXT 2.0. I thought the show, to be honest, was just all right. I didn't think this show was anything special whatsoever. Nada, Zippo. I mean, it built some things for Halloween Havoc next week, yes. But as far as the show does go, I thought it was just meh. By the numbers, all right, cool. But again, didn't think it was anything extra special. And that's not good, I guess you could say. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. Camera a little bit. Move it down just a smidge. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And Twitter.com/PWU Unlimited. Remember, if you are watching on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can subscribe to the channel one of two different ways. You can subscribe with a tiered subscription, tier 1 or a tier 2, but you can also subscribe with Amazon Prime, because if you're already paying Jeff Bezos for Amazon Prime, well, you can link that account to your Twitch account. Boom. Powers unite. You've got Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you one free subscription to any Twitch channel on Twitch, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you used it on us right here. Plus, it gives you free games. Plus, it gives you free in-app purchase stuff and so much more. But on the flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can help us out over there as well. You can help us out on YouTube by giving us a super chat or a super sticker donation in the live chat. Remember, all super chats do get read live on the air, and you can hit that join button down below to become an unlimited army member and a channel member here on YouTube, where you get early access to news, early access to non-news videos, early access to podcast episodes, and so much more. Plus, if you ever buy anything on the Epic Game Store, whether that's a game, whether that's V-Bucks for Fortnite, whether that's skins for Rocket League, well, over on the right-hand side, it's always going to ask you right before you finish your purchase, Epic Creator Code. Put in the code PW Unlimited, and you'll be supporting us right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Doesn't cost you anything extra. If you're already paying for something on the Epic Game Store, well, bada bing, bada boom, there you go. You could do it through the Fortnite app on PC. You can do it through the Fortnite app and the Rocket League apps on PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo Switch, I believe, as well. So anywhere you're giving money to the Epic, to Epic, use that creator code PW Unlimited, and you'll be helping us out. And I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So with that, we've got NXT to talk about, the final episode before Halloween Havoc next week. Warm Hedgehog says, did you dislike NXT? I wouldn't go as far as say I disliked it. I'm just saying that it was kind of just an average show at best. Plus, I mean, I did like some of the things they built towards Halloween Havoc, like the women's tag title match is now a ladder match. I like that. And I like the way that they had a match to determine who gets to spin the wheel and this and that. The match itself wasn't all that great, even though EO was in it, but that's another story. Also, I don't know what you guys thought. So let me throw the poll up really fast. What did you think of tonight's NXT? Throw this poll up. I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. Poll's live on Twitch. Liked it. It was all right. Whoop. All right. Didn't like it. All right. Poll is also live on YouTube. Excuse me. But with that, the show opens up with a brand new NXT North American champion, Carmelo Hayes. He's joined by, Trick Williams. He's now, well, not now, but been for a couple weeks now, the hype man of Carmelo Hayes. Williams introduces Hayes to the audience. Hayes talks about pulling a swerve on Swerve, referring to Hayes cashing in his contract last week en route to winning the North American title. Hayes says that the North American title should be referred to as the A Championship by everybody. And no, Ciampa's belt is. Then, out would come none other than Johnny Gargano. Gargano interrupted Hayes and kind of cut a monologue of sorts. Gargano sarcastically congratulated Hayes, and then Gargano went on to say he's been, well, busy lately. Got a lot of things going on in his life, but now he's here all alone. Austin Theory's on Raw. Indy Hartwell got married, which that line didn't make sense here in a moment. And Candice is at home, pregnant. But he said pregnant. He didn't say pregnant. He said pregnant. He said Candice is at home, pregnant. Anyways, Gargano says that he lost his, quote, way, and he's trying to figure out what's next for him. He thinks wrestling Hayes is what's great for Gargano. Gargano then challenged Hayes to a match, preferably for the NXT North American Championship. Trick Williams would chime in and tell Gargano that he needs to worry about his daughter, Indy Hartwell, that is. He said that Indy has been sliding into both Carmelo and Trick's DMs. She's been, quote, shooting in he said, quote, he's been shooting in Melo's DMs all week. Gargano played along, goes, oh, she is? Wow, my daughter. I really got to worry about my daughter, but what about my son-in-law? That would make him very unhappy. They turn around and boom, there's Dexter Lumis. He takes down Trick Williams and basically just choked him out. Hayes dragged Williams out of the ring, though, to barely make the save. This is, I assume, setting up either a title match or a tag team match down the road. You know. Something. So going forward, we had, where was I? Odyssey Jones against Andre Chase. Basically, Andre Chase is just a Dean Douglas ripoff. And Dean Douglas was pretty goddamn lame back in the day as well. So in the match, Chase cut off Jones early to take control, but Jones herked up moments later. Jones showed off his power and strength. Jones bounced off the ropes and splashed Chase before hooking a leg and getting the pin. Odyssey Jones does defeat Andre Chase. In the back, Malcolm Bivens was leading Diamond Mine to the ring. Bivens says that he sees how things are done in NXT, and so they're no longer going to ask for opportunity. They're just going to take opportunity. And then they came out to the ring and nothing happened. Imperium, well, not nothing happened. The Creed brothers had a match, but, I mean, Bivens really didn't do anything after saying, we're just going to take opportunities instead of ask for opportunities. Nothing happened with that. Creed brothers had a match, though. They took on Imperium. So, I don't know where this is leading to because they were really pushing them Creed brothers strong and then they just lose tonight. And it kind of just like deflated them because people really liked them. People thought that they were being built up to be this like cool, pure team, this like pure wrestling team. And then they just lose. And I know what you're going to say. Well, everyone can't win every week. Correct. But when you've got guys that you're really building and it looks like that they're trying to like establish, you got to give them more than 2 wins. You know what I mean? Hopefully they can bounce back. But as far as the match does go, the match itself wasn't bad. I actually kind of liked it. And the Creed brothers had the advantage early on. That was until Eichner got a hot tag and cleaned house. Eichner did some cool spots where he used a rolling fireman's carry on Julius, leading to a near fall that was broken up by Brutus. He then countered Barthel to deliver a gut-wrench powerbomb. Eichner jumps up and broke the count. Ikemen Jiro, along with Kushida, would run down to ringside, and they began brawling with Diamond Mine. Brutus was distracted, and, well, that led to Barthel pinning him with an O'Connor roll for the victory. Out would then come the NXT Tag Team Champions, MSK. They came out and they attacked Imperium. They cleaned house on Imperium and challenged them to a tag title match next week. Like, what, huh? You're the champs. You don't need to be making the challenges. Plus, what did Imperium do to you? Like, am I missing something? Did I completely forget something? I don't know. More Headstock says, why didn't WWE want Shotzi to host this year's Halloween Havoc? Because she's not in NXT anymore. Duh. She's a SmackDown superstar. You don't have SmackDown superstars come back down to NXT. Blasphemy. Poppycock. But then we got a weird bro moment, I guess you can call it. There was a pre-taped skit where Kyle O'Reilly shows up, I guess, at Von Wagner's house or his property or somewhere where there's wooded areas on a bicycle. Von comes in his truck, and Kyle goes, where's your bike? Gonna be a little hard to keep up. And Wagner goes, oh, well, we don't need it. We don't need those where we're going. And so Von Wagner's wearing, camo and a ball cap and whatnot. O'Reilly's just got on his normal O'Reilly shirt and, bike helmet that he eventually takes off. And they go off into the woods. And they literally start training. So they're walking in the woods and they're looking around. And Von Wagner goes, that'll do. And he picks up a big fallen log. And he carries it around for a little while before handing it off to Kyle, who carries it around for a little while. They then do some workouts with the log, and then the other guy does the workouts, and they do some stuff where they're swinging axes at trees, and then they're at a campfire. And fucking Von goes, we got one more thing for you. One more workout. Some 12-ounce long neck curls. And so Von hands Kyle O'Reilly a beer. And they're like, yeah, maybe we could be good together. And they cheers the beer and they drink it. And I go, okay. So they're a tag team now. Yeah, cool, whatever. A vignette highlighted Cora Jade before her upcoming match. But before the match, there was another video with Joe Gacy, or a skit, actually. It was more of the stuff with him and Harlan. I don't know what's going on with this. But like Harlan's under Gacy's spell. And I guess Harlan is now, because before we thought he was this like, what's the word I'm looking for? A woke millennial. But now I think he's more of a church cult leader type thing. And Harlan is one of his goons. Like he's got a spell on Harlan to where if he tells Harlan to do something or needs Harlan for something, Harlan will do it. Or if Harlan goes rogue, he looks right into his eyes, and then Harlan's like, oh, my bad, bro. I don't know. I have no fucking clue where this is going. But next up, we had Cora Jade against Elektra Lopez. Jade sold for most of the match, got her ass beat, and then all of a sudden just rolled up Lopez with a small package. Like, that's it. Literally. It was, how can we beat Elektra Lopez but make her still look good in defeat? And it's have her beat the shit out of her opponent for 98% of this match and then get caught. So maybe actually more like 99% of the match and then get caught. Going forward, they talked about the Queen's Crown Tournament taking place Thursday on commentary. Also, no Beth Phoenix. Asked about that, and they go, well, Beth needed to be home with the girls because freaking Edge is on his way to Saudi. And they go, oh, that makes sense. They're expecting that Beth will be back for next week's Halloween Havoc. But that makes sense. I mean, I should have thought of that myself. But I asked, and I go, hey, no Beth tonight? And I was literally given the words, she had to be home with the girls because Edge is going to Saudi. That's just all I was told. She had to be home with the girls because Edge is going to Saudi. I go, oh, okay. Fair enough. So, the NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa was with Braun Breaker backstage for an interview. They teased not getting along in their upcoming tag team match later tonight. And I go, oh, guys that are going to face each other but may not get along. Where have we seen that before? 24 hours ago. Video talking about how both Grayson Waller and LA Knight want to be the host of Halloween Havoc next week. So, well, they'll face off for that job. Next up, we had a triple threat match that really turned into a singles match. It was Io Shirai, Persia Pirotta, and JC Jane. In a triple threat match, the winner gets to spin the wheel, make the deal. The match went through a commercial break like a minute or two in, and Jane went for a tope, but her feet hit the ropes and she completely wiped out on the floor, basically spiked herself head first. Medical checked on her and immediately took her to the back, and the match turned into a singles match. I asked about if she's okay and haven't got anything back. Last I got was she's being attended to by medical. So, I mean, she was okay enough to catch Io on an Acai moonsault, but then was taken to the back. So the triple threat, it ended up turning into just a singles match, and Pirotta worked over Shirai for a while. Pirotta got some near falls, and Shirai fought back from underneath. Shirai eventually made the comeback. Shirai hit some of her signature offense and nearly botched a springboard where she looked like she slipped on the ropes a little bit. Shirai was applying a crossface at one point when Pirotta powered out. Shirai countered with a suplex of her own, and Shirai followed this up with a moonsault to pick up the victory and pin Pirotta. Shirai goes up to the wheel, and Starks joins her. They spin the wheel, and it goes. And it lands on Stairway to Hell ladder match, which is basically a riff on the Stairway to Hell ladder match from ECW back in the day. But the NXT Women's Championship triple threat match next week will be a ladder match. Should be fun. Io in a ladder match? Heck yeah. The other women? Io and Zoe, I think will do well. The other women in a ladder match? I don't know about that with all these very unexperienced women. I mean, Gigi may do all right. She's got more experience than most of the other girls, but I mean, Indy, Pirotta, she don't look very good at all in her matches. And you've got Gigi. She's okay, but JC Jane, that's going to be a rough one. It might be kind of rough. They told us that the Street Fighter, Solo Sikoa, will be debuting next week at Halloween Havoc. If you haven't figured it out, Solo Sikoa is the younger brother of Jimmy and Jey Uso. This is a weird one. Ikemen Jiro kind of like bum rushed Kushida in the bathroom as he's trying to pee. And also, is Kushida not allowed in the locker room? Because Jiro literally grabbed, I don't know if he brought it in with him or if it was just there with Kushida, but he grabbed Kushida's bag and dumped it on the floor. And told Kushida, put on the jacket, put on the vest. It's time to go back to the future. They put on the Marty McFly vest jacket thing. And yeah. Cool. Next up, we got Tony D'Angelo against, I think they said his name was Ru Feng. And my first question is this whole Tony D'Angelo thing just a troll from the fans to where people online thinks he's so great? Because I think he's fucking garbage. First off, he plays the mobster Italian like somebody that isn't even Italian. I know he is, but shit, bro. He acts like someone that grew up like in Idaho or something, trying to be Italian from what you watched on like The Sopranos or something. Trust me, I've got Italian family from Chicago. I've got Italian family from New York. We assume they're all in the mob, so I've seen how mob people act. They say he's from Chicago, but he talks like my mom's uncle from New York, so I don't know. And also got, mob family from Italy too. I mean, don't get me started on this, but this was just a quick, super short squash match where he went with the Fisherman Buster. After the match, Samantha Irvine interviews D'Angelo. She asked him about the disappearance of Lash Legends producer Mark. D'Angelo said on his godfather's grave, didn't do anything and doesn't know anything about Mark. He then slipped Irvin some cash and told her, go buy something nice and forget about it. First off, I've met plenty of Italian people in my life and never met anyone that says, forget about it like that at all. At all. Like I've said in the past, my mom's entire family is from Italy. My mom didn't come to America till she was 3. So I've met plenty of real Italians. And I've never met one that says, forget about it. I've met a plenty that says, go fuck off. Or, go minke. Instead says, it's New York slang. Again, I've got family from Chicago, New York, and Italy. Have never heard any of them say it. Again, it's not New York slang. I think it's soprano slang. And because sopranos popularized that, people just think that's what, Northeastern Italians say. Forget about it. I don't get it. Again, no one in my family's ever said it, and I've met dozens of real Italians. Next up was Legato del Phantasma versus Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen. But Briggs and Jensen were attacked by Legato del Phantasma before the match even started. Mendoza and Wild had the early advantage until Jensen ran Wild off a hot tag. Escobar interfered and got clocked with the right hand from Jensen. The match itself didn't go too long and ended with a tilt-a-whirl by Wild, and Mendoza flew in with a leg lariat combo. Mendoza then pinned Jensen to pick up the victory. Then they had a pretty good video package, interesting video package though, hyping up the match next week between Mandy Rose and Raquel Gonzalez. It's basically Raquel saying, I've worked hard to get to where I am as the champion. I'm in the gym all the time working out, making sure that I'm ready for any and all challengers. And then it's Mandy Rose going, I'm hot. Everyone calls me hot and sexy and beautiful, but they've never called me champion. And next week, they will. And then she's driving like they're showing Raquel in a gym for most of this. And Mandy's in like a bikini, and then she gets in some convertible car. I didn't pay much attention to what kind of car it was. There's a lot of close-up shots of Mandy, so I couldn't really tell. So going forward, Carmelo Hayes says that he's missing the North American Championship. He and Trick were looking in the locker room for it before they found an invitation for next week to the haunted house of Dexter Lumis. A spooky, mysterious figure from the graveyard was burying people or things or whatever. I don't know. Still don't know who it is. Whoever it is, debuts next week. We then had LA Knight versus Grayson Waller, where the winner will become the host of Halloween Havoc. And basically, this was just kept basic. Waller was making a comeback at one point after Knight had the early advantage, but then Knight cut him off just out of nowhere and got the victory. So it's LA Knight who will be the official host of Halloween Havoc next week. And I go, okay, cool, whatever. Then we had our main event. It was the NXT champion, Tommaso Ciampa, and Braun Breaker against the Grizzled Young Vets, James Drake and Zach Gibson. And I liked this match. I thought this was the best thing on the show. Breaker started off the match with Drake, and Breaker showcased his power. Drake got Steinerized, as some may say. Ciampa was a house of fire when he got tagged into the match, and Ciampa and Breaker were teasing dissension before the show cut to commercial. Grizzly Young Vets got the heat on Ciampa during the break, but Ciampa created some separation. However, Gibson battled Breaker on the outside, so when Ciampa went to go pin Breaker, Breaker wasn't there because Breaker was chasing off Zach Gibson. Ciampa was finally, though, able to get some separation and get the tag. Gibson ran around the ring and clothesline Breaker. But that meant that Breaker again, after getting tagged in and then tagging back out, was not there for Ciampa when he needed him. Twice now. When Breaker finally got back up on the apron, Ciampa slapped him. Ciampa yelled at Breaker and asked him, "Where were you?" Since Ciampa slapped Breaker, that counted as a legal tag. Kind of like when you see the guy on the apron where he aggressively smacks the partner on the back to make the tag. So, yeah. Breaker got in and started just running amok. Breaker pulled down the straps of the singlets and he applied a Steiner recliner on Drake. Gibson booted Breaker in the face to break the hold, though, and Breaker threw Gibson out of the ring. Breaker lifted Drake into a gorilla press, and Breaker dropped him into a power slam. Breaker then covered Drake for the 3 to pick up the victory for his team. Ciampa then went to leave, but then jumped back into the ring, and he and Breaker had a stare down as the show went off the air. So there we go, our main event segment for the main event of next week's Halloween Havoc. And that was NXT. I thought a pretty average show. Nothing that I completely hated, but nothing that I was just like, man, this was great. I mean, the main event was really good. I mean, Breaker, for as little as he's been training, leaps and bounds better than he should be. I'm going to say it right now. Leaps and bounds better than he really should be. But with that, you know what I think of NXT tonight. Now I want to know what you guys thought of tonight's NXT. Remember, you can text in to 510-906-1341. Again, the number is 510-906-31. Let me know what you think of the show. But first, before we check the text messages, check the polls. As far as the Twitch poll does go, 100% of you thought the show was just all right. Looking over at the YouTube poll, 45% thought it was just all right. 41% liked the show, and 14% did not like it. With that, as we go to the text, this person says, so Johnny is a babyface again. I mean, Johnny's been a babyface for a little bit now, ever since he agreed to let Indy marry Dexter. That was his babyface turn. That whole thing at the bachelor party and whatnot. This person says, Johnny's showing up at NXT and coming back after being missing for 2 weeks. Have you seen any news on him re-signing with NXT? As far as NXT itself, I thought it was better than Raw as usual. I mean, no one knows anything on Gargano's status. I've asked, and I've talked with other people in the, reporting realm. And I said, hey, have you heard anything? I've asked and got nothing back. Have you asked and got anything? And same thing. Asked and got nothing back. I've asked 3 different people with sources, and they all say, nope, none of my sources know anything. First says, Breaker and Ciampa is going to be a classic next week. I'm kind of confused on Tony D'Angelo. Is he heel or face? What is his deal? I think, honestly, he was supposed to be a heel, but then he got over, and so now they kind of want him to act babyface, but not full babyface. That's how I see it. But yes, Ciampa and Breaker, the match, I don't know if you can call it a classic. I would never call a match a classic before it actually happens, because yes, Breaker's looked good and we know Ciampa's phenomenal, but we haven't seen them actually go in there and just them two. Cool. I'm leaving it all up to, I think it's going to be really good. I hope it's going to be really good. I have a good feeling it's going to be really good, but we won't really know, because this is the first big test for Braun Breaker. Because Braun Breaker. Because if we look at it, Braun Breaker, he's only ever worked 3 matches, and 2 of those were tag team matches. He worked the really quick 3.5-minute match against LA Knight, but then the other 2 matches he's had are tag matches where he teamed with Ciampa. So again, he's still got to prove himself. Moving forward, this person says, Oh, I'm not going to read that one. This person says, do you think SmackDown or Raw get new stages? Why? They just got new stages in July or June when they went back on the road. Why would they get new stages all of a sudden? That would make no sense. And this person says, no, Charlotte Flair is still the Raw Women's Champion, and if Becky Lynch returns her title, do you see them? So yeah, I talked about this last night. I'm not gonna talk about it again. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. Remember, you can also follow us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, and follow me on Twitch at Timmy Buddy. I will be live later playing some games. I want to play some Jackbox if enough of you guys join in. So if enough of you guys come join the stream later, twitch.tv/Timmy Buddy, then you guys can join me and play some Jackbox Party Pack 8. I think Party Pack 8 is phenomenal. And all you guys need is like a tablet or a phone that's got internet, even your computer you can use. And it's absolutely free for you to actually play the games with me on stream. So with that, guys, have a great night. I hope I see some of you guys later. Twitch.tv/Timmy Buddy. I'll see you next time. Remember, no AEW tomorrow. It's Saturday again this week. No AEW Dynamite tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.